¡Ya! ¡Ya! ¡Acción! ¡Sudor! ¡Ya! Prepárate para entrar en la zona extrema. Acelera tu adrenalina y alístate a sudar. Global Jump. Leyendas del templo escondido. Ahora en gas.
Oh shit, sorry I didn't see you there, but did you hear? We got this whole week off for Thanksgiving, considering that, the Margaret's gonna have to wait her turn, because maybe it's God's way of saying, one, hey Mark, you just got out of a relationship, it's not time yet, and two, maybe he wants me to have it as early Christmas present. And my grandmother just said a few minutes ago, all we gotta do is pray on it that that's the case. No Big Leap episode tomorrow, so therefore, let's get the reaction video of episode Casey Atwood 7 of Las Leyendas del Templo. Man, was that shit fun. First off, kudos to DIOGO and Bradford for scoring the Red Jaguars' second victory of the season, and like the only team to have even at least one victory this season, the first being Katie and Carol and Mallory Mead, Just like them, we didn't get a victory song like we would have in the original Las Leyendas del Templo with Kirk Fogg on Nickelodeon back in the 90s, and of course the early 2000s on GAS, the Latino America block and the American channel. But hey, that's okay. Like, we learned this with Blue's Clues, we learned this with Double Dare, and what was the other show that got rebooted? We learned this from all that. The reboots are not always going to be exactly like the originals. They're always not going to be the same. There's always going to be major differences. But anyway, let's get into this. Honest to God, based on how well that they were getting along with me and how much we were interacting across social media, minus Twitter, because apparently they don't have one, I was secretly rooting for Scout and Jen to get all the way to the temple run and secure the victory. And even if they didn't secure the victory, I was hoping they'd make it to the temple run. But because DIOGO, I've known him since even one of those few Las Leyendas contestants on the reboot, before it even started. Calm down, Mark. Okay, one of the contestants that's been on this current reboot, that I knew before the reboot even started, since he's a cool buddy of mine, I was happy that he got far. If Scout and Jen were gonna lose, I would rather have them lose it to DIOGO and, of course, Bradford, considering I found Bradford through DIOGO when they posted their episode today. And here I am thinking that Rebecca and Megan were gonna be on tonight, when no, it was actually Lily and Cheyenne. I mean, it sucks that they didn't make it past the moat, but they still played a hell of a game. And Olmec was cracking me up. First, at the end, when DIOGO said he was going first into the temple, he said, okay, sorry about that. I got a little bit of allergies going on. When DIOGO said, and Olmec asked who was going in the temple first, he's saying, me, DIOGO, instead of saying I am, like everybody normally says, even the kids from back in the day. And Olmec, being D. Bradley Baker, being the comedian he is behind Olmec's voice, very well, me, DIOGO. That was the funniest shit ever. I was dead when I heard him say that. And it's like, Shane and Jack, I see you guys are big on YouTube and TikTok as well. Guess what? So am I. Hell, I even have a TikTok account that's dedicated to my YouTube updates. If you guys want to follow that, and my main account, Mark Oliveira 021594. And of course, my YouTube channel is Mark Oliveira's Enterprises. So when I'm on the computer next time, I will update my list of featured channels for everybody else to go check out. That's not really similar to me, but that's in relation to me, like, stuff other people I associate myself with, whether I know them personally in real life or not. But man, you guys were kind of blowing it at the beginning of the Steps of Knowledge. You had that funny answer where, D. Bradley Baker is Olmec one time, and the way he says it is like pure gold. Incorrect. I almost said that is incorrect. What the fuck this is? Jeopardy first edition for the computer and the original PlayStation from 1998. The first Jeopardy game that was not made by Game Tech. Same with Wheel of Fortune. When Alex Trebek occasionally would say, that is incorrect. And then, because of Aubrey Scott production, here we go, my butt. Even in real life, when people say that is incorrect, we say my butt. But the way D. Bradley Baker in Omeg's voice says, incorrect. That shit cracks me up every time. He says the word incorrect with more emotion in this version than he did in the original 90s version with Kirk Fogg on Nickelodeon. That's what makes Steve Bradley Baker as awesome today as he was in the original 90s version with Kirk Fogg. And Christella saw my shit on Instagram and Twitter and liked it. She liked it here on Instagram, and she liked that shit on... She liked that shit on Instagram, and she quote retweeted me on Twitter, so at least Christella knows that I exist. And who is the other pair that was on tonight? Oh yeah, I described them all. So sadly, Lily and Cheyenne sadly didn't make it past the moat, but they still played a hell of a game. And even though it was a drag race at the Steps of Knowledge, including a silly answer by Shane and Jack, they didn't get past the Steps of Knowledge, but they still played a hell of a game. And the Temple game, the second Temple game, now, Jen, I remember you saying, try not to go easy on you guys. Well, I was at first, but now I get to show how I really felt when you guys got to the end. You and Scout really stunk it up like Terry Labonte in that second Temple game. These Temple games are more difficult in this version than they were in the 90s Nickelodeon version with Kirk Fogg, because at least with Kirk Fogg and at Nickelodeon Studios, you had an air conditioning indoor facility that could actually help you. But considering that the Christella's version is was filmed outside in the summer months in July. Oh my god, that shit is like so exhausting, physically and mentally exhausting, that it'll run you out of breath. I don't know how these contestants on this current version does it, because I was thinking about trying out for the show, but luckily for me, I had to work all summer. And even if I would have been able to get a free pass, to miss work to try out, and whether I made it or not, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because if I did try out and I made it and had to be in California to do the show, and if I got as far as the Temple games, and the Temple games were like this fucking hard, I'd be chickening out, because there's no way I could go at least more than a minute doing that physical shit. Like, my god, that was the most fun I've ever had watching Last Leyenda since it came back. And I know Rebecca and Megan's episode is not until December 5th, but I look forward to the Suns Spurs game tomorrow, even if we suck ass again, because there's no episode of The Big Leap tomorrow because of the holiday break, and there's no Goldbergs and a Million Little Things this week because of Thanksgiving. That Girl Lele is Thursday, but we're gonna miss it because we'll be with my dad in the Oliveras for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to find a good time to catch up on last week's episode of Goldbergs and AMLT that I decided to skip on my own. That was my own choice to skip it because my body wasn't feeling it and I was tired as fuck. So therefore, maybe I'll use this Wednesday when we normally see it, when we normally see a new episode, to pretend there's a new episode out, and we're just watching the reruns, watching it on the DVR. And That Girl Lately, I'll just catch up on the Nickelodeon app, not on the Nickelodeon app, the Nickelodeon website on my computer. So I will see you all tomorrow for the Suns Spurs game, even if we suck ass again.